If you want to have the perfect start possible in Octopath Traveler 0, you are in the right place. As your fellow traveler who spent more than 50 hours in the game and wasted a lot of hours making mistakes, I'll be giving 15 tips that will save you a lot of time and guesswork and help you avoid the common traps in the game. Like for example, mastering path actions is one of the key things that can give you advantages and significant progress in this game. Make it a habit to do path actions on every NPC that can participate in this feature. It is easy to know if an NPC is available for path actions if the square button is appearing or the space key when using a keyboard. Path actions can help you extract useful information, ask for consumables or even weapons from NPCs, or even get their possessions when contending with them, or invite them to your hometown and rebuild, and so on. One thing to notice here is that the success rate of each action varies. Like for example, recruiting someone to join your ranks or when trying to entreat or ask for a certain item. The path action success rate is based on how strong a certain influence you have in your progress. And we do have 3 influences in the game so far. That's power, wealth, and fame for you. Completing main story events, recruiting companions, and more will increase these 3 influences. And as your influence grows, the easier it is for you to ask high-level items or recruit strong NPCs to join your cause, and you can see your percentage skyrocket. But what if you want to get all of the good stuff in the earliest time possible, even if your current influence is trash? This is where the save and reloading trick comes into play. For instance, I'd like the shiny magic eater sword, but since my influence is trash because I just started a game, I have only 3% chance of succeeding when trying to entreat the item. What I will do here is save the game first and make sure that I have 5 reputation attempts. Then I will start asking for the magic eater. If I fail 5 times in a row, it's not a big deal as I can just exit the game and reload my save, then I can just repeat the process over and over until I get the item. I use this trick to have access to high level equipment and be overpowered early, but it will require a lot of patience as you can see. You are not forced to do this, especially if you find it taxing, and I'm just letting you know that it is an option. Since you already know the save and reload trick, you will be saving a lot of money early on by not buying regular equipment from towns, unless you really need it. Your early cash should be saved on buying plums to restore your SP to last in difficult areas. There are a lot of good free weapons, armors, and accessories, and you name it, in the first 3 major towns. So take the time doing your path actions and accumulate free items very fast. You can pretty much play this game without grinding and just enjoy the story. But if you are the type who loves to grind, you can simply follow the suggested level in each area, and most of the time, it is an ideal spot to grind for XP and resources if your level matches the suggestion. But since my audience loves to grind, I have prepared the best and earliest spots and methods to level up fast or even farm lots of JP to max your jobs. This video will teach everything you need to know, like setting up your first 7 characters, link in the description, or find it by clicking the card here. Make it a habit to do side quests while following the main story, since these side activities often lead you to new places with useful items or even unlock new companions, and a lot of other stuff that can aid you in your journey. Readying a list when playing Octopath Traveler 0 might be a good idea for you, especially there are a lot of things to track in this game, like high-level NPCs to contend with, or even locked treasure chests scattered across the map, so you can go back to it later on if you can open them. When you backtrack later on and you have your list, your experience will be so much better since it is impossible to track all of these by just remembering them all. Unless you are Einstein or you do have 300% photographic memory, which I really don't have. It doesn't need to be a grand list, and a notepad in your desktop will do. It is easy to get lost in the world of Orstera, but don't forget to invite people to your village. Different NPC gives different perks or passives, such as increasing the rate of your harvested crops or even increases your total XP and JP accumulation during battles. Aside from regular NPCs that can help you running a barn so you can produce livestock and raw materials, companions on the other hand can also give you special passives, so make sure to be on the lookout. In connection with the last tip, eating food can provide helpful buffs such as additional XP and JP gains after fights, or even increase the drop rate of items or have additional positive status buff in combat. Not to mention how huge the percentage of each dish provides. One of the fastest ways to get raw materials is through your crops or farm. So assigning an NPC that can increase the yield of your crops in every harvest is highly suggested. Or get raw materials from NPCs via entreat path actions. Moving on to my party members and exploration tips. Octopath Traveler 0 really incentivizes you to explore and heavily rewards you if you do so. There are a handful of side dungeons to explore and give powerful equipment for your party members or even towns to discover. So take time exploring the nooks and crannies of Orstera. But one thing that excites me is that you can access towns without restrictions. Even the town is located in an advanced area. Remember that there's a lot of free stuff that you can get by just doing path actions. But meeting new companions is the biggest incentive you can get when exploring these towns. Did you know that you can get a powerful scholar when the map finally opens? Alexia can deal hard-hitting lightning and dark AoE spells very early in the game, which is going to be a huge asset in your party. And I cannot stress the value she offers in the early game, so getting her early is a must. Recruit Alexia in Treotropolis, which is not far from Wishvale. Head to the town's library and talk to Alexia and entreat her book to get her attention. And she will join your party after the encounter and you will have yourself a powerful scholar. Another early character that you need to get your hands on is the warrior Viator. This guy can tank and parry attacks for you while also dealing huge amount of damage with his sword skills. Another member who can provide a lot of value to the table, and get him in the town of Valor, and he is located in a pub near the town entrance. If you have a crested key with you as a keepsake when you created your character, talk to the bard in the pub and you will catch Viator's attention and recruit him after the interactions. If you don't have the crested key, get this key as a loot in Serpent's Burrow side dungeon. There are 6 total characters to recruit early, and I see Viator and Alexia are the priorities. If you want an extra healer aside from Stia, or even a cool thief, watch my dedicated all 6 party members location guide, link in the description, or find it by clicking the card here. When it comes to your starting jobs for the protagonist, there's really no right or wrong answer here. All of these jobs are perfectly viable in the early game, and you will eventually unlock a new job by just learning 5 skills in your protagonist's current job. So meaning, you will unlock all jobs after a certain period of time. While I mentioned that you can pick any job you want and call it a day, of course there are suggested ones that can give you a much better experience compared to the other jobs in this lineup. And I have 2 suggestions for you. Like for example, the Scholar job can cast fire, light, and wind AoE damage that is very useful, especially in the early game. Don't forget that Alexia can cast dark and lightning AoE damage, so these 2 will be a good pairing that can cover all elements. But in my opinion, the Merchant is hands down the best starting job you can pick. And there are 2 specific main reasons why I picked this job as my initial class. The skill Mystic Shot damages all enemies and restore SP for your members to the entire front row, equal to 2% of the skill's damage dealt. This skill allows me to sustain the party's SP, so I don't need to keep using plums to recover their SP. The Arrow of Fortune skill damage converts a percentage of the total damage dealt and turns it into JP. This allows you to farm huge amount of JP very early in the game, allowing me to access and max the other jobs of the protagonist very quickly. Mastering Octopath Traveler combat is the main highlight of the game, and there are a lot of things that I wish I knew sooner so I can enjoy its combat system much earlier. Like for example, setting the right formation to maximize my healer skills and capabilities by not pairing these 2 jobs together. For instance, Macy and Stia have different placements in this composition so they can heal twice in a row. And this will save you in hard fights, especially in boss fights. A lot of enemies in this game loves to deal strong AoE damage, so it may be taxing for just one healer in the party. If you pair them together, they can only heal once per turn. So yes, front and back rows are now a thing in Octopath Traveler 0, explaining why they are pairings. So you need to pay attention to this one. And yes, you can change your party formation on the get-go and not just in pubs. Another good tip is double or triple dipping on enemy weaknesses. Your main goal in combat is to break your enemies to deal the most serious damage possible, but to do that in the fastest time possible, you need to use the right weapon type or the right element to damage enemies and exploit their weaknesses in all 4 turns. You can do this by making sure that your weapon types are spread across your formation. For this instance, the enemy is weak to an axe weapon type. You don't want to pair Macy and Stia again since both of them have access to the axe weapon type. So if Fen, Macy and Stia can have their own turns, you'll be triple dipping into an enemy that is weak to axes, leading to faster enemy breaks. Did you know that you can stack up and use all of your 3 of your BPs and unleash a much stronger attacks? Octopath Traveler veterans already mastered this, but for newcomers in the series, they will surely find this tip valuable. Make sure to conserve your BP as much as possible so you can pull off devastating skill damage on targets. You can easily determine if you are going to unleash a full charge when it says max beside the skill name, or if the aura that the character releases is a bright, light bluish color. But what if you want to know the best leveling spots to be overpowered early? This video will teach you everything you need to know, so click on it and I will catch you on the next one.